What's up YouTube? I'm Reactor of All. I'm going to be reacting to Dwight Howard apparently is going to go to the Lakers, plans to sign a 1-year non-guaranteed contract with the LA Lakers. And ESPN is kind of reacting, analyzing the news, commentating on the news. I'm going to listen to them. And, throughout I'm going to be reacting to whatever they say. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to give my own take on how I feel about Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, if you're watching, maybe you'll like my opinion, maybe you won't. I hope you do though. It's because I really try to look at multiple angles, not just what the celebrities say, not just what the ESPN media or the media says about you. So, let me know what you think about it. Without further ado, let's get started. So, one thing that I like about this is that having a non-guaranteed contract, Dwight Howard will have extra motivation to contribute to the best of his ability. And we kind of have an idea of who Dwight Howard is. He used to be a great defender, but he's not in his prime anymore. And you also have his efficiency numbers. His efficiency numbers are good. The past few years, pretty much ever since he left Orlando, he wasn't really the first option. At times he probably wasn't even the second, maybe even third option. So his offensive numbers pretty efficient, even though they're not maybe the way we would want it, like with skill like Hakeem Olajuwon or skill like Kevin McHale. He's still been pretty efficient. Especially after looking back at some of his numbers, And most of his problem has been injury and whatever Kobe and Shaq had to say about him, pretty much about his mental toughness, or that's not something I really look at too much, mental toughness or drive or whatever. At the end of the day, his numbers they speak for themselves, and he's pretty solid on both ends. Not a superstar, but he's been pretty solid. Okay. A couple things. Good on you, Dwight Howard, for prioritizing your career instead of $2.6 million. But also, like, millions is millions, 3 million is still 3 million. That's the amount that he has instead of 5.6. Wow, Steve Nash, okay. During his time with the Lakers, I believe he averaged 17 points a game, shooting percentage, but it was definitely greater than in his rookie year, which was 52%, and greater than 52% for a center who's not even the first or second option in that team. Solid. Well, second option, not even a second option at times. Oh, he had a bad back too. I looked at Wikipedia for kind of his injury history, and I didn't catch the back. I knew about the shoulder, but let's go. That's something that Dwight Howard has been criticized for. Him getting a second technical foul. I don't know how many technical fouls he's had in his career, but people have been messed with him during games. At least from what I've noticed. If I'm wrong, feel free to comment. But, the times that he has shown weaknesses is when the game is a frustrating game. When the game doesn't go his way, when the refs don't seem to be going his way. He definitely shows his frustration, which, it's a common thing in the NBA today. I'm not saying that Dwight Howard is the only guy, but he has been criticized for his mentality, his mental toughness in the past, so it's like a nightmare. He looks shell-shocked. Interesting, I don't remember the Lakers wanting him to stay, but this is good to see. It seems like the Laker fans realize that, well, one, he was injured a lot, and two, he may not be the center that they wanted, but at the time he was still a hell of a center and he was injured too. So if Dwight Howard was ever able to get healthy, and if his teammates supported him, then we would have probably had a different Dwight Howard career. I want to say 6 teams, 5 teams in 7 years, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, so 5 teams, because after that's the Washington Wizards. Brooklyn. Oh, well, that I'm not counting that he actually played. So 5 teams between 2012 to 2019. So 7 years, yeah. So I was on there. 5 teams in 7 years, and now he's in the Lakers again. All right, Ramona. I like her work. Ramona Shelburne. Let's see what she's got. Okay, wait. Before you go on. Looking at the Lakers, their options, from what I've heard from RB the Breakthrough. Great YouTuber, great basketball YouTuber. You should subscribe to him. Their options, the options that they were looking at were mainly Dwight Howard, Joakim Noah, and maybe Marcin Gortat. And then RB the Breakthrough's opinion was that they should get Kenneth Faried, which, in hindsight, Kenneth Faried, his energy is there. It's higher than Dwight Howard's in terms of energy, and that kind of, to bring the mentality to the game to help other people with their defense too, to encourage them. Dwight Howard, he's just, he just goes about his business, playing great, playing pretty good defense, offense being efficient, In hindsight, I mean, I don't know how Kenneth Faried is doing in terms of like his physical health. But Dwight Howard is okay. I'm okay with Dwight Howard. He did repair work. Good workout. Okay, so it shows that he, like the title, it shows that he's physically ready. That he doesn't have any health problems. During his time with the Wizards, he didn't really play for them much. He had a back injury, hamstring problem. So yeah, he even missed training camp and some of the exhibition games. He was traded to, like what they said earlier, they were traded to the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies waived them. So in terms of his health, his health has been a concern. But now that he had a workout with the Lakers and they say that he's good to go, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can see a Dwight Howard with not necessarily more points per game, not necessarily more blocks per game or whatever, but with higher efficiency numbers. You know, especially since he's playing with Anthony Davis and LeBron, Kuz, JaVale McGee, to kind of, because JaVale McGee's a center, you know, to kind of spare like both Howard and Anthony Davis a little bit, you know. So I expect Howard to be not necessarily more productive over the course of the game, but I expect it to be very productive over the course of his minutes. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's go. That's good, because I mean, you know, so a lot of the back injuries, you know, that we get nowadays, or that we've always had, a lot of that can be attributed to too much weight in the body, you know, particularly upper body. And Dwight Howard's like body structure or body makeup, the way that he works out and all that, a lot of that was upper body. So, you know, all you got to do is, you know, have a bad movement and you could tweak your back, you know. So knowing that Dwight Howard has lost 20-25 pounds, and it's not the type of 20-25 pounds that makes him like out of shape, out of basketball shape, I mean that's good. That's good news. And it's good that he spoke to the coaching staff, that he spoke to the teammates, because, you know, Dwight Howard, one of the things that he's been criticized for is like that he doesn't really care about, that's his criticism. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying the criticism has been that he doesn't care enough about the game, that the drive isn't there, you know. And by going to the teams, you know, by going to his future teammates that maybe at the time he didn't even have a contract with yet, and the coaches and all that, he looks driven. You know, he seems like a different Dwight Howard, which it seems like we say annually, you know, or that the media says annually about him, but this looks different. You know, the news looks different, and I'm happy for Dwight. You know, assuming that this is all true, I'm happy for Dwight. He wants to be a part of a winning culture. And the fact that he would agree to a non-guaranteed contract, that says a lot about him. Like, he wants to maximize his production, and if he feels that non-guaranteed contract is like another source of motivation for him to produce the most that he's produced, or to be the most efficient he's ever been, that tells me everything about Dwight Howard's mindset. You know, one, that he lost the 20-25 pounds, that he's physically healthy, he doesn't have any injuries or anything like that, that he still looks strong. He still looks strong. That means he's an upgrade at the center position. And that he's okay with a non-guaranteed contract. That tells me everything I need to know, you know. But let's keep going. We're 3:18 in. Let's go. That's also a good thing, you know, with RB's decision or opinion that Kenneth Faried should be there. I don't know if Kenneth Faried could be like a center for a whole season defensively. That would make Anthony Davis ultimately become a center. And one thing that the Lakers don't want is Anthony Davis to be a center, because Anthony Davis doesn't want to be a center. And if Anthony Davis is doing something that he doesn't want to do in a team where he has like a 1-year guaranteed, I mean, he could just leave afterwards. So the Lakers want to keep Anthony Davis, and if that means taking Dwight Howard on a non-guaranteed contract and seeing what he's got left, this is a good move by the Lakers. This is a good move by the Lakers. I mean, assuming health, that could be a monster. You know, look, like, you know, when people talk about the Lakers, they say that the only thing, or that the main problem of the Lakers is the Clippers. I'm not aware of who the Clippers centers are. Let me know in the comments. I don't recall who the centers are at the moment. But their firepower is not the center. You know, when they faced the Warriors last year, it was mostly guard play. You know, with Lou Will, Patrick Beverley, and shooting. I mean, if one of the strategies against the Clippers would be just to take it inside to the big fella, you know. That sounds like Shaq, like someone talking about Shaq. Sorry, someone. But if that is an approach that they could utilize now that Dwight Howard's there, that's an extra option for them. So not to say that because of Dwight Howard, the Lakers are better than the Clippers definitively, you know, but it's an option that they can consider moving forward, and that helps with their versatility as well. I mean, yeah, I mean, you compare Dwight Howard, so much physically better, you know. Dwight Howard so much physically better than, for example, Joakim Noah. I don't remember the last time Joakim Noah looked like he was physically in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, New York, he was bashed heavily for, you know, the production he had versus the contracts that he had. The consensus was that it was a bad contract. And I don't see Joakim Noah all of a sudden having like a Dwight Howard body type, you know, or being that, you know, physically healthy. I just don't see that from Joakim Noah. If you guys can prove me wrong, let me know. But if Dwight Howard is physically healthy, that's a dangerous center. It's not like a three-point center. It's not like a center necessarily for what people would necessarily want in this NBA. You know, they would prefer like someone like Dwight Howard, but can also shoot. That was DeMarcus Cousins. Lakers are doing pretty good. The Lakers are kind of recovering well from last year, from all the controversy with them. So they're recovering very well. Him saying, oh, when is this going to be my team? That's not going to be a problem Lakers now, because one, Dwight Howard is not in his prime anymore, so I don't think he's going to be encouraged, or he's going to feel himself enough to ask that question. And also, like, I mean, the first two options are Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And maybe at some point in the season it will be in that order, Anthony Davis being number 1 and LeBron at 2. So with LeBron with the ball most of the time to set up Anthony Davis, you know. So I don't think Dwight Howard's gonna have that question of, hey, when is it gonna be my team? And I don't think he wants it because, or I don't think he believes that it will ever happen because he's in a non-guaranteed contract. Less distraction there. I mean, I don't know if that choice of words is appropriate, but I mean, on paper it's true. But like, you know, one, there's been, you know, with Houston, that was kind of an unfair situation in the sense that he was criticized, but he wasn't even the first option, and the first option had the ball the majority of the time, you know, so, you know, James Harden. So I don't know if that's entirely fair. You know, there were times when the coach just sat him down at the end of the game, and that's more of like a coaching style, you know. Mike D'Antoni, that was his coach, right? In the Houston Rockets at the time. Well, first it was Kevin McHale, and then it was the legitimacy in that situation to criticize Howard, however, is like, you know, he had Kevin McHale, he had Akeem Olajuwon, and his skills don't necessarily show that training, you know. Maybe a little bit, you know, but he's not all of a sudden Akeem the Dream Olajuwon. He was definitely humbled. You know, he realized that this is probably his last chance, you know, especially after looking at Melo and what happened to Melo. Melo, I would say he is more productive than Howard, especially because he was less injury prone than Howard. Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong about like efficiency numbers. You know, Dwight Howard has probably always been more efficient than Melo, but Melo was the star of a team for a longer period of time. You know, this could also help Melo in the long run. You know, because the perception of Melo is that, oh, he will never change. It would be like Allen Iverson. If Dwight Howard says that, oh, I just want to fit, you know, be a good fit, contribute to a team that can win a championship and all that, and he actually does that, maybe Melo can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Melo can just keep on training the whole time with LeBron or whoever and be physically ready. And if Dwight Howard, you know, shows it, it can also help Melo too, because maybe the teams can perceive like, oh, if he changed, maybe Melo can change. So, I mean, I'm not saying Melo all of a sudden is going to be the starter next year. Maybe he can be like a 10th man, even though his skills suggest that he's more than a 10th man. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. I'm done with the video. I did have a lot of like statistical information on Howard, but I feel like in this video, it kind of did the work for me. But just to repeat, Dwight Howard's lowest field goal percentage was 52% from the field in Orlando, and that was his rookie year. Second year, then 53% from the field, that was his second year, and then the third lowest field goal percentage, I think, is 55%, and that was from 2017-2018 season. And then after that, he got 62%, but I don't really count that because he only played 9 games, and you know, he had a lot of injuries from that. But if he comes into the Lakers losing 20-25 pounds, he's not looking like Ben Wallace. I don't know. He's not looking like a crazy muscle man that his back cannot support. I see good things ahead for Dwight. I can see him being, especially these days, like, I don't think there are a lot of centers that can bully Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like Embiid or what's his face? The center on the Nuggets. Oh my God, what's his game? Like well, I should know that name, but you know who I'm talking about. Like, except for those two, I feel like he could do a pretty solid job, at least on the defensive end. You know, he can bully them on offense, make them have a harder time shooting the threes because a lot of the centers now shoot threes too. So, and by losing that 20-25 pounds, he'll probably have an easier time getting to the three-point shooter, depending on what the Lakers' defensive schemes are. Because we don't know what the Lakers' defensive schemes are since the coach is new. Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel's the new coach. Jason Kidd's the second coach. I mean, they had an overhaul of coaching there. Please like and subscribe. If you guys have other things that you would like me to react to, let me know. Credit to ESPN for posting information about Dwight Howard, both his history and how he came into the Lakers. Thanks, guys. Don't let anything hold you back today. I hope the best for you guys today. Peace.